Hey YouTube, how are you? I'm your girl Vivian Jennings, as you see in the title, The Single Black Man as a Foster Father, as a foster parent. And I'll be back after this introduction. Hey Miss Tiara, how are you today? How are you doing today? You said you're here in the bushes laying down while listening. Well, I thank you so much for your support, my darling. I thank you so much for your support. Hey, BB Nice, how are you today? So good to see you. So good to see you. Give a couple more people a couple more seconds to get in here. As you see from my title, today I'll be talking to a single black man that is a foster father. That is a foster father. And I need to do this. I need to go into another device just so I can check. Because you know you got to make sure everything is going down when it's going down, how it's going down. I thank you, Queen, so much for showing up. I thank you guys so much for showing up. So today we're going to be talking about black single fathers, black single foster fathers. And I am awaiting my nephew. I'm praying that he didn't get tied up doing anything. He he did. All right. And while I'm waiting on him, he's going to come into the live chat and I'm going to have to drop the link for him. Because StreamYard, StreamYard always got something else they doing different. They always doing something different, y'all. But it's okay. It's okay. He's on his way. There he is. All right, nephew. He's here. Just click on the link and it'll let you on up. It will let you backstage from your device. You guys, I'm sorry. I'm still dressed in my work clothes. I was at work today being cute. And as he come up, I just want to let you guys know, in the foster care system, according to the data from 2018, Black children were 13.71%, 71% of the population, yet 22.75% of the children in foster care were Black. That's a big disproportion, you guys. A big disproportion. And nephew, if you just click that link, you'll end up on the screen, and we'll be able to do this. The link that I put down there, just touch on it, and it'll let you up. There you go. Ooh, you look a rough, nephew. I love you though.
Thanks.
How are you? You guys, this is my nephew. This is my loving. I love him. Hey nephew, how you doing?
I mean, I have 3-month-olds, so I'm tired. And I have
Yeah,
3-year-olds, so
you're right. You have a 3-year-old and 2. Wait a minute, he's soon to be 3, right?
he'll be 3 in March, and then I have
And
the
the
3-month-old.
Oh,
Yep.
it's a set of 3-month-olds. Okay. So you guys, this is my nephew. His name is Donnell.
Yeah, it looks crazy.
Yeah, your hair does look crazy. I can't believe you're locking it up.
Yep.
Look, I wore red today. You know why I wore
Oh,
red, right?
I'll let her know.
And tell her I said I love her. I love her. And I'd like to thank each and every one of you for coming on here and being with us today. There's BB Nice, and let me see who else in the chat again. Miss TR and my girl Yolanda. Is Yolanda Trust No One? Yes, yes, yes. So, and my sisters are here from the green sector. So today I wanted to interview a young man that's a single young man that is a foster parent. Yes, he has a set of 3-month-old twins and a 3-year-old.
Yes.
And he is a single black man, that is raising kids. Okay, so first off, I wanted to ask you, what made you decide you want to be a foster parent?
You know what? Sometimes I ask myself the same question. No, well, I was a youth minister for a while. Um, and I don't know, not to sound churchy, but I believe my calling has always been to help young people. And I think that's because that's how I grew up. Both my grandmother, my mom, everybody, my family are quite helpful. But I say I believe I'm called to do this because, for a while, church was like my life. Um, but God slowly knocked things out of the way and said, no, this is where you're going now. So um, it was just a desire. And I saw a need, especially in the DMV area. There's a huge need for um, strong support and love. There's a lack of love in this area. And by being in the youth ministry for so long, I saw it in our kids. A lot of our kids weren't necessarily foster care that's cared for there in the youth ministry, but they were, grandma was taking care of them, or auntie or godmom. There weren't a lot of biological parents. And there were a lot of older people trying to take care of these younger people. And they were struggling. So I saw the need, and it was such a desire in my heart that I was like, I have to do something. And this is where I am.
Y'all, okay, so I am so proud of this young man. Y'all don't know how proud I am of him, but I am proud of this young man. I remember when his mama was saying, had me walking up that hill in that heat in Southeast DC, and I'm looking at her like, girl, I'm so tired. She moving. Okay. So y'all, I remember him mama when she was having cravings of them saltine crackers and tea.
Wow, that was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. Them rolling you out the bassinet as a baby.
She tells that
Okay.
story all the time.
But you guys know this is a strong young man. He's done a lot in his life, and he's gone far, and he's going to go even further. Um, okay. So I got a couple questions. They're all mixed up. What is foster care? What is foster care?
Foster care is a lot of things, but it's in a nutshell, it's a nurturing should be hopefully a safe environment for our under 21-year-olds. In this area, it goes up to 21, so it's birth to 21. And my job is basically to provide a loving, caring home, safe place for children in need.
Okay. And okay, so my other question is, what were some of the qualifications for you becoming a foster parent?
So when you sent me that question, it was interesting. It's two parts to me. There's the book part, which are basic things. You have to have a health inspection. You have to be able to pass that in your home. You have to be able to pass, a fire inspection. You have to be, of course, 21. You have to be financially stable, um, to maintain your household without having any additional funding. Um, and then everyone in your house over 18 has to be, willing to be a part of it. And then you have to do a physical. But I think more importantly, I learned after the fact is that mental piece that you have to be prepared for. And they don't put that as a qualification. But to me, you have to be mentally qualified because it's very emotionally taxing. Because at this point, I started in 2019, and the twins make my ninth and 10th child. So I've had 10 kids in 3 years.
Really?
So yeah, so some with me for 2 months, some with me for 3 weeks, um, but they all touch you in a certain way. So when I say qualifications, you have to be mentally prepared for heartbreak because when you hear the stories, you're heartbroken when they come to you, and then when they leave, you're heartbroken again because you don't know where they're going to go back to. So you have to be mentally prepared, and you have to be, in some level, spiritually prepared. Um, because I tell you, it takes a lot of prayer. Because it takes a lot of patience when you're dealing with. Because I deal with the parents of the kid, I deal with the kids, I deal with the department, I deal with lawyers and judges, doctors. So it's a lot of on top of working a full-time job. So it takes a lot. So you have to be. I think the biggest qualification is to have that mental stability, to know what you're getting yourself into, which they don't talk about and when you sign up.
Okay, so as a foster parent, what are some of the things you can do with the children, and what are some of the things you can't do with the children?
So
Or does it depend
legally,
on each child?
so it does, and it depends on the age. So for instance, my age cap is 12. Um, I'm switching that now because I'm not taking any more babies at this point. I can't take any more babies right now.
Well, you
But
can't. Wait a minute. What you gonna do? You got a set of twins and a 3-year-old.
so your house gets certified, and so I can take up to four foster kids at a time. And since one of them is legally mine now, I can take two more legally. But you can do. They train you to let them be a part of your family. So wherever you go, they want you to take the kids with you. They want you to truly embrace them. So legally, the only thing I can't do is get their hair cut, no piercings, and certain medical decisions I cannot make.
Wait a minute. Did you say
Um,
you can't get their hair cut?
you can't get their hair cut without approval. You can't get any piercings without approval. And I cannot take them out of state without approval. But everything else, that you treat them like your own. Um, so technically, you can do anything with them.
Okay. Okay. You're a single guy. How does being a foster parent affect your dating life and social life?
I don't have any life. I have 3 kids. It's honestly like any other parent. It's no different. I think the hardest part for me is planning. So for instance, we were planning a big family trip to go to Florida um, last year before the thing. So in my back of my mind, I always have to say I have to have room for a kid, um, because you never know when you're gonna get a kid. You never know when the kid's gonna leave. But if you take a kid away, there's still provision you have to make for the kid. So in back of my anything I do, I have to plan around well, what if I have a kid at that time? Because I would hate to turn a kid away because I want to go to Florida. Like, I'm sorry, it's just not in my nature. But it's it was easier before Corona, because you know that I had a village where people I was more comfortable with people stepping in to help. But now with this, I'm like, "Oh, I don't know if I really want you in my house." So,
Well, Don, stop it, because you're always like that. You
well,
always
yeah,
like that. I don't know if I want you in my house.
but it's gotten worse because of what's going on. So before, all this stuff went down, it was easier, because I was more, willing to allow the kids to be with other people. But now it's kind of like, you kind of just hang out with me. So it's tough now, and I think it's the same challenge everybody's going through. Um, we just decided to put the older one back in daycare after much thought process, but now I'm getting nervous again. Um, so at first, we were home. He was home. I had someone that came in the house to take care of him, but he was kind of needing that other kid. So it's a struggle. It's a battle. So I'm just praying that this corona will go away soon and I can get my village back so I can live a little again.
I understand that. I understand it. Talking about your village. Talking about your village. How did the family accept you as a foster parent? Now I'm gonna tell you what you know what your granddaddy said. What he gonna do with all them children? You know that's what your
I
granddaddy
mean,
said, and you know your grandmama is like, "How come y'all won't send me pictures of the kids?"
I don't know why she's surprised. I mean, we
She
grew up
not.
around kids.
Your grandma ain't bit more surprised
I think everybody has been very excited. I know, like my family that's here in the DMV area, they're just part of the family. My mom and them. Unfortunately, my mom just went nuts at Christmas, so I have
what
toys
she do,
like crazy. There's truckloads of toys here,
cause them her first grandbabies.
truckloads of toys.
That's
So I
her
mean,
first grandbabies. That's why she doing it.
but all of the kids I've had, that have been long term. The first little girl I had absolutely broke my mom's heart because when she left, my mom was like, "She's leaving." My mom bought her all this stuff, was ready.
Because
So,
your mama wanted another daughter, another
oh yeah,
grandbaby
she was
girl.
excited about that.
That's what
But
that is.
everybody's everybody's been accepting. I mean,
I know
I mean,
Bet.
and I think,
I know Bet love them be over there all the time
oh,
thinking she's
what?
somebody's
Yes,
grandmama.
loving it. And I think everybody, it's because it's how we always been. We've always been accepting and come on, come on.
Let me ask you this. Do you think your your upbringing, like your mom and dad, okay, so you guys, this is I'm gonna explain to you guys, this is my son's son, but his mom and dad, his mom and his aunt and your uncle, because Kenny lived with us too.
Everybody live there.
Everybody lived at our house. Everybody lived at our house. I like to say thank you guys so much for coming in. And I like to thank Serene Sunlight for the super chat, sweetheart. Thank you so much for always supporting. But look, we have a question that's in the chat. It says, "Do your children act out after visiting the biological family? And if so, how do you manage this?"
Um, I'm just trying to think of my kids. So I've only had two families, and I say families because one of them was multiple kids that I had to that actually had visitation. The first young lady, it was hard for her, because she was 4, and she loved mom, and mom wasn't it what her case wasn't severe. So we always knew that she was going to end up going back to mom. It was a time where she had to separate it. So her visitations were rough. Even the phone calls were rough because she wanted to be with mom. Um, this my kid I just legally adopted, took guardianship of. I've had him since he was 7 months. So when he went to go visit, he had a clue who she was. So it was kind of like, why are you dropping me off here? And when are you coming back? So it was no issues with him. And I had the other ones have only been FaceTime, but like I said, I've always had all of my kids have been under 5. So except for the oldest young lady I had, there hasn't been no issues with biological parents and them acting out.
Okay, so how do you usually get your children? Because I know this last one when you call when okay, so when I called you and talked to you about your grandma, and then you sent me the picture of the twins, and I was like, "Who these babies? Where they come from?
So
Who them kids hop on?"
and this goes about being emotionally ready outside of everything else, being a qualification, because you never know when they're coming, how they're coming, and who's coming. You literally get a phone call and they say, I have these kids, this is all we know, do you want them? And that's kind of like the process. Because you got to remember, sometimes when kids come to foster care, they've never been in care, you never know the situation. So, like, I've had a kid where um, there was an issue. The police were involved. They went and got the kid from the house, and they were calling me. So the police had the kid, and they were like, "We have this kid." So I hear in the background them talking to the worker on site, and they're calling and trying to find a placement because in Maryland, if they don't have a placement, the kid just sits in this room in the department until they can find a placement, and they just call. It's just they call and they call until somebody says yes. Um, and they have about I think 24 hours or so, and they can't find a placement. Then they, try to get inner state transferred to another state to get the kid placed, but they have to get the kid placed. And so
So they
there
don't
was
have like any centers that they can go and stay at, like
they do
homes.
their they do, but they do their best not to put kids in what we call group homes
Gotcha.
because group homes are typically looked upon as not a good place to be. And they honestly prefer that one-on-one nurturing, that family feel. Especially when a kid is first removed, because when they're first removed, it's when they come when they're first removed when they're older. All my kids that have been older have been it was a horrible experience in that first removal, um, because they're literally being snatched from their parents, put in typically a police car or a stranger's car, and then they're taken to a stranger's home. And here I am like, come on in, you ready to eat? And so it's they try not to do group homes, but they'll call me and they'll say, hey, do you want them? If you say no, they call the next family. Can you take them? No, they call the next family. And so like with the twins, they call me on um actually it's the first time I actually had a notice. They called me on Thursday and they were like, well, we have these two babies, they're still in the hospital. Can you take them? So I'm like, sure, okay. Go to the hospital. They're like, here are the babies. Mind you, they come with no supplies. So
Wait a minute, they didn't give you diapers, clothes. They just had on like the onesies that they had in the hospital.
I've only gotten one kid that came with clothes. So like in the twins case, my goddaughters live across the street. So I mean the boys have girl like sheets and stuff, but they have somewhere to sleep. I mean, until we can get, stuff here. But, I got a lot of their stuff because they're two now. So it's a lot of or there's like a network, a parenting network that we're in, and you can call them and say, "Hey, do you have this I can use until I can, get it situated?" But typically, because you don't know what age you're going to get, you just have to be prepared. So I just have rooms here prepared, whatever I have, we make it work.
And I'm quite sure your mama is at the store. Oh, Don could use this. Don could use
Oh
that.
yeah, she's ready all the time.
She stay on ready. She
She
stay on
stays
ready.
ready.
So, all right. So my question is, how does Kiki, where Kiki get there? I know she probably like, hi, it's my babies.
Now she doesn't do well with the babies. She's good with like the older one. She's good with, but she's like they're so small. Like when I got these two babies, they were 4 pounds. So um, she was like, "Oh, I'm not. I don't want to hold them." So, but she's good with them. Everybody's good with them.
Okay, so Yolanda said I had one that was going to a homeless shelter. If I had not taken them, it was a mess. I only had him for 2 months, and then he went to foster to adopt home. to adoption home. So let me ask you a question. Okay, so you said you have custody of one. Do you think that you're going to adopt them or
So, I mean, they're all case by case, and so a lot of times, so for instance, in his case, because we've had him so long, we were trying to take the easy route of not letting him hang in the system for another year. Because to actually terminate a parent's rights, it takes another year once the judge says, this foster care process is not working well. Let's move to the next step. And the next step takes about a year and a half. And so in that situation, the difficult part is you're kind of like always wondering what's next. So like we went to court yesterday for the twins. Um, and court day for us is always like, even my mom, she's like, oh gosh, we have court tomorrow. Because you never know what's going to happen in court. And so you don't know what's happening because court is when the judge will say, okay, time is up. We're gonna do this with them. We're gonna send them back. We're gonna do this. Um, so you're always holding your breath at court. And so with the older one, when it came to like what to do next, we were like, we don't want any more court moments where we're holding our breath. And so with the legal status we have with him now, mom would have to go back to court and contest the court and say, I want guardianship back, and she has to do all this type of proving stuff. And so the only difference now is legally he's not adopted, but we have all legal rights. We have no ties to the department, and so I can technically now, well, after a year, I can go back to court and file for adoption. And so that's what they actually recommend. Wait that period out. If mom doesn't tries to do nothing to um, make contact or improve herself, the judge would probably then say, okay, yeah, let's just do it. Um,
okay. You talked about being a youth minister. How has your church embraced your decision to become a foster parent?
I'm at a new church
Like
now,
your
but
pastor and things, huh?
I'm at
Say
a
that
new
again.
church now, but
Are
the
you
pastor
okay?
absolutely loves them.
Okay.
He's like, because I'm on staff there, and so he's like, oh, bring them on. He
Oh, are
thinks it's
you?
the best thing in the world. So,
Hey, y'all, I love my nephew. Y'all just don't know. He don't like to call me. I sound like a grandma, don't I?
look here,
And
if I
and
wasn't
he
on
don't
here
he
and I
don't
wasn't,
answer he don't answer his phone, y'all. But I can always find him and get in contact with him, put my hands on him if I need to. Okay, so I asked about the contact. All right, now you talked about I got a question. All right, so as we know, it's a disproportionate number of African American children in foster care compared to the population. As a young black man, okay, so myself, when I see a lot of stories about black men, especially even if they're single black men adopting, they usually end up with a house full of white children. What is your thoughts on that?
I guess it depends on if you're in a program for the right reason, and that's to help kids. It doesn't matter. And so, for instance, in Maryland now, the law is the only thing you can request is gender and an age range. But you can't anything else. You have to say yes to, and if you can't say yes to it, you're done. Unless there's a medical reason and you don't feel like you're competent enough to, like, for instance, do a feeding tube or something like that. But as far as I think a kid is a need, send them to me. It's kind of always been my thought with my workers. Um, and I understand that that there's that population, but I think in Maryland though, the ratio of African American kids is so high that it doesn't, the chance that you're not going to African American kids is crazy. And so in Maryland though, we have a lot of families who aren't necessarily African American who are taking in our kids, and so I don't have a problem with that, and so I don't think I should have a problem with taking in their kids as well. So I think if you're in it to love kids, then just love the kids regardless of their race.
I guess okay, so my other question would be Do you ever worry about any implications? About being accused of any improprieties or things of that nature.
Initially that was my thought, and when we were doing the training part, that was big on my heart, especially when it came to, because at first I was gonna say I don't want this type of kid, I don't want this type of kid because of that. But when I talked to the worker, she was like, um, that only happens when the people truly aren't in it for the right reason. And because we build such a strong relationship with the team that we work with, like I have a worker who's assigned to me, and then the kids have their own worker. And
Okay.
so if I have an issue, my worker knows I'm going to call her right away. So once you build that relationship and that bond, and so like you don't just jump in a program. They be like, here are all these kids. They start you out with one, and they watch you, and they call you, and they come check on you. And so I think once you build a relationship, they know the type of person you are. So I quickly got over that fear. Um, I have yet to, thank God, have a child that's been sexually, in need of assistance because of something sexual in the home. So I've never experienced, that type of, and that's usually where the cases come from, where there's usually like a question of is what's going on in your home. Um, so I'm kind of past that point now, but it was a fear at first.
Okay. And thank you for coming in for divine wisdom, and I appreciate that. Um, so I guess my biggest take from this, how long do you I guess how long do you think you're gonna do this? And what is your wait a minute, what does your roommate say? Well, I
Well, I
guess he
mean,
doesn't say anything because I guess he's so cool with it.
it's, I mean, it's something, well, you have to agree upon, because when they in the process they interview everyone in your house over 18, and everybody has to be on board, or you automatically get disqualified. So I mean, we're all in. I mean, I'm until I can't physically do it anymore. I mean, at this point, I mean, it also depends on what happens with the kids I have. So, for instance, the twins come to the point where they're like, "Do you want to keep them?" 9 times out of 10, I'm going to say yes. And so at that point, I'll have three. I don't know how many more after that. I can, honestly care for and do it well, um, especially when they're this young. Now, if they get older, you know, but
How many did your grandma care for and do it well by at one time? What, it was like 70 y'all going to the store at one time in the shopping cart.
and she was working.
Yes, and she was working.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know how many more young kids I'll do, and that's more so on the financial side, because to do it well financially, it's a lot. Um,
Wait a minute. So you have to be financially able to care for the children, is what
so
you're saying.
yes,
So
you do.
like you have to pay for those children to their supplies and things of that nature.
So it's two ways. So everything is reimbursed to you. So up front, yes, you have to be, you have to have money up front. Like when they come to you, when you go buy those initial clothes, they don't give you like a credit card and say go get what you want. They give you, I think it's like $90 now for initial shopping. So can you imagine buying a kid that's $90 is a pair of shoes and a pair of jeans? So
I'm thinking you just got the twins and they only give you $90.
you get $90 each.
Oh, you but still that's Pampers and formula.
You get $90 for clothing, or one-time clothing loss of $90. Um, they assist you with daycare, but they only assist you up to a certain amount. So, like in our area, the amount they give you, I can't find a daycare that amount. So you pay the difference of that. And of course, they have to eat and formula. So and then there's programs you can look for, but nothing is like when you get the kid, you can just jump to the program. It's a process to get into everything because you don't know what kid you're getting. So you can't just sit in programs. So yeah, you have to be financially stable. And so having three kids in daycare is a lot. So I don't know how many more kids I'm gonna get in daycare, but I don't necessarily say I would stop because of that. But I believe that if God is pleased, He'll make a way. So until I can't do it anymore, I'm gonna keep going. And
So
people think I'm crazy for that.
look, sweetheart, look, I can appreciate what you're doing. Um, I can really and truly appreciate what you're doing. Um, I know where your heart is. I'm so very, very proud of you. I love you so much, and I see that. I see the passion in you. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, as far as your job, how does your job? When you told your job that you were going to become a foster parent, what did they say? Did they look at you crazy, or what did they say?
So the funny thing is, so I've switched jobs in the process. My original job, so I've been actually very lucky. Like I used to work 15 minutes from my house, so in that part it was great. And then when I had that manager, she was kind of like, you know, you can't not work, but I understand what you're doing. I'm grateful that you're doing that. So she made room, for me to do it. So if I meant I had to stay late one day and then leave early the next day, she was okay with that. My current job, I started in January when we went work from home in March. So I've been lucky because I've been home since. So with the twins, I've been home the whole time. But they know, and she's excited as well. So I don't see a problem. I mean, I think because I do my job well, they don't really, have a problem with it.
Now, your roommate, how does his job feel about him?
I mean, it's the same. The difference though is he's senior management, so he's kind of his own boss.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
So you know what my next question is? When
no, I
y'all
don't.
planning on coming down this way?
We were just talking about that the other day.
I know we still have to have finish that conversation.
My mom is on it. Um, I told her I'll call her back tonight and find out. But the
Find
plan
out.
was to bring the older one, not the babies though. Babies aren't coming.
Okay, okay.
There's no way I'm taking them on that drive.
Why?
What? Three of them in this car on this drive? 9 hours?
Like,
No.
yeah, you have some help.
That drive with 9 hours of these babies is not going to be pleasant for me.
You got your mama and all of them. All of them coming. All of them
Hmm.
coming. That's
But
like
they want
two carlos, three carlos. All y'all ain't getting in the same car.
these babies eat every 3 hours, so that would mean we have to stop
So
three
no,
times.
no, you won't. No, you won't have to stop because whoever's in the back seat could just stick a bottle in their mouth. Bam.
Now, baby B does not like to be not held and eat. He looks at you like, "Excuse me, you gotta pick me up and give me this bottle. I need you to pick me up." And he has to eat because he has to gain weight.
Well, okay, so yeah, baby
The
B was
plan is February though.
baby B was acting out last night
Yes, baby
when
B
we
is,
were on the
is
phone. Baby B was acting out.
he's the house boss. He tells everybody what to do when to do it.
So I you said your goddaughter lives across the street. I know she is huge now. I know she a big girl now.
No, I have three. The twins live across the street. They're two.
Oh, okay.
The older one, she's like an hour away, and she's about to graduate high school.
I remember her when she
So
was
when
in
she can
the
get
army.
here, she's excited to get here because she wants all of them all the time. But now that she has a job, she's like, I can't come this weekend.
Okay, so you guys, this is one of my older nephews. He's one of what, 7?
It's a lot of us. Yeah.
You're no, you're 2 of 7. The other Danielle is like what, a month, 2?
Before me, yes.
Yeah, about 1 month or 2 before you. So y'all, he's like one of 7. Have you seen? Okay, I gotta ask you this. Have you seen my other grandnephew yet?
The new one?
Yeah, your
No,
sister's baby.
I haven't seen him.
If you get a picture, can you send it to your auntie? Because you know she upset with me. As
She's
usual.
probably upset with me too.
She's upset with your auntie as usual. I think I think that you are a phenomenal young man because for you to decide to take this on and take on younger children under 12, that is a great responsibility. That is a good thing. Uh, it's a good look. It is a good look. And I thank you for it. I thank you for it because there's so many children out here that need love and need a place to stay, need a house. And it's phenomenal. Um, is that I got a question? Is that the reason why you ended up getting that house?
The new house?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Really?
Yes. That was the whole point of moving. Because everybody's like, well, why do you move 3 minutes away? Because for one, the other house needed work to pass the fire and health inspection part. It needed a new pipes and all that stuff. But we weren't going to do all that. So we just like, and then I wanted the extra space, extra rooms, larger space, I should say. So yes,
So do y'all
that's
have like
why
a playroom?
I have a loft in the upstairs. Yeah.
Okay, where am I going to sleep when I come to visit?
Good luck. This here, there's kids everywhere, so you might not want to sleep here because they're all up at night around here.
Well, I just need a place to lay my head when I come up to visit. Just remember, I need a place to lay my head, and I want some crab legs. I mean, some
We don't
crabs.
we don't allow kids
Doing,
in the basement, so
doing. Oh, okay. The basement's fine with me. That's probably where I need to be anyway, because you know I snore real loud. I sound like a sailor, but a drunk sailor. What advice would you have for a person that was on the that was thinking about doing it but didn't know which way they wanted to go, if they wanted to do it or if they didn't want to do it? What would you what would you say?
I would honestly say check yourself first. And I actually was on a call the other day and we were talking about this. They were like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "You really need to check yourself because I believe that this saying hurt people hurt." Um, and this, I'll say for this case, this line of work, the kids are hurt and they will hurt you. Um, and sometimes it's just because that's all they know. Like I've done respite care, and when you do respite, you get a temporary kid for a weekend or whatever just to help out. And I've done that, and the kid came and he was berserk. But when you hear his backstory, it makes sense. And so if you come into this role and you're going through a lot yourself and you're not in there for the right reason, because at one point, people it was big that people came for this role for money, but they've taken that away completely. Where if you come in this for money, you're in the wrong place because I have to have a full-time job or I lose my license. So you really have to check yourself and make sure that you're in it for the right reasons because there's not a lot of thank yous, there's not a lot of good jobs because literally at times it's like here's one kid, we're taking this one, here's another one. So it's not a lot of time to um, reboot yourself. I mean, you can always close your home for a while and take a break, but to actually do this job well, you have to really know yourself and be comfortable with handling your own stuff. Because the last thing you want to do is that hurt people hurt thing where you're hurting kids because you're already hurt yourself. Um, it's, I mean, and so I've seen people come through the program, they don't make it through training. Training is brutal. It's in my county, it was for us it was 16 weeks. And it's no joke. You have to be on time. You have to be the whole time. You can't call out. There's no skip days. If you skip a day, you start all over. And they do that on purpose to weed out people who aren't here for the right reasons. Um, it just takes that you making sure. I would just definitely say check yourself and make sure that you are able to do it. Make sure you have a community that's ready to help you because I couldn't do this by myself. I don't think any foster parent I've talked to can they do it by themselves because it takes a lot. Because when you get a kid, you may say, "Hey, neighbor, can you watch them while I run to Walmart?" Because they have nothing, so I need your help. So I mean, really, check yourself, check your community, um, and be flexible. If you're on the fence and you know in your heart that you're not going to be able to make time, because like we heard a story where a little boy came and talked to us, and he was kind of like, my family, the house is nice. I have my own room, but they don't. I'm not a part of that family. They have dinner, and my dinner's over here. They go to. They were going on vacation. They left the kid behind. So How does that make that kid? And he was 14 or 15, so he had the feelings of, I'm still being left behind. So just check yourself and make sure that you're ready to really embrace them to be a part of who you are, because technically they're your kid for that period, whether you like it or not. They're yours, and
Well, I
they
know.
deserve to be treated that way.
Well, I know our family, and I know how those folks over there are. I know how your mom and your aunt, and because y'all, his mom and his aunt are my sisters. I call them my sisters. They're not my nephew's mom and aunt. They're my sisters. They call my parents what? Mom and dad. Mom, papa. Where papa at? And my mom and dad, they look upon his mom and dad, and I mean his mom and his aunts and uncles as their children. And my thing is, so I can understand how things are going there. I know how things are going there. I know it's
It's
just like,
easy, and I
I mean,
think, like, from what you just said is what also made the process easy. Because what you're saying is how I grew up, and that's all I've seen is, I mean, grandma never turned anyone away. I mean, nobody.
yeah, y'all, my mom had three sets of twins at one time. She had a set of girls, a set of boys, and and a boy and girl. And remember the boys, they had the disability.
I remember that.
Remember the one boy, he was in the wheelchair, and the other one, we were trying to figure out who wrote his name on the wall, and everybody was surprised to find out that he could write. Remember,
I
y'all,
mean,
my
she took anybody, and we were like, "Stop taking them. There's no room for us. Get get them out of here."
mom. But you're right. And everybody grew up as brothers and sisters, cousins, nephews and nieces, and you guys, I when I tell you guys, I have people in my life and in my family that truly love me. This is what I mean when I say I have people in my life that truly love me. Um, my nephew know I love him to life and back. Yeah, I ain't say to death and back, to life and back. And again, nephew, I'm just so very, very proud of you. Well, I'm proud of all of y'all. But I love it that there's a young black male that's doing the daggone thing. Because there's not too many of y'all out there. How many in your classes? How many other single young black men did you see? Is it a lot or a little bit or what?
In my session, I think it was two of us, three. I think there was three. There's actually more than you think, because around here, I guess a lot of people around here have homes, and they're just like, why not? Um, yeah, I think there's quite a few that I know around in this area.
I don't know none down here. I don't know any down here because I
And you
told
guys
you,
have a huge population down there. Your
and
kids
I
down
told
there
you,
are.
and I told you what was going on with me because they wanted me to certify. You know the den with the fireplace with the two
Mhm.
doors. They wanted me to certify that for 6 children.
Golly, yeah, y'all, in the rules down there are a lot different because I researched a little bit down there, but your population of kids in need is really high down there, really, really high. Because we were getting some up here for a while from down there, but it's really high down there.
It is. It is. So I guess my last question is, what would be your advice again to someone that want to do it? Besides not stand on, would you suggest it is a good idea for a single woman or a single man or a couple?
I mean, yeah, because the program is honestly what you make of it. I mean, you determine how many kids you want, you determine technically the age, you determine when you want to do it and you don't want to do it. So I think it's, and honestly, even if you just help one kid, I think that's amazing. Um, because, and that's how they always get me. And the worker who calls me, she knows if I call down there, he's going to say yes. Because when they tell me the story, I'm like, well, I can't say no now. So, and so by hearing the stories, um, if you can help one, it's huge. Because just think about it, if they can't come to you, who knows where they can go. And that's kind of how I always look at it. So I would say go for it. Um, just make sure you're ready. Go for it.
All right. So do we have any questions in the chat? I see S_Hutchinson. Hey sis. Shells, as I call it, Miss Divine Wisdom, Vibrant Low. Hey, Vibrant, how are you? Y'all Vibrant be everywhere. Okay, I'm part of the green sector, nephew, and I'll talk to you and I'll explain that to you later. But
I'll hear a little bit about that on
I,
Sunday.
I appreciate each and every one of my green sector sisters coming in here. I see Forever Lisa. Let me see who else I see in here. I seen Brooke Valentine. Brooke, she's working. That sister says she working and listening. Yolanda is Yolanda. That's my mentee. She and I we gonna work together. Miss TR, I see you in here. That's the voice of wisdom. Let me see who else is here. Represent Sheila E. the Quiet Storm. She's in the penthouse. That was a wonderful interview you did today, sis. She did an interview with a lawyer. Let me see who else is in here. I try to catch all the people, say hello, 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 hello to everybody. Uh GT GFTV, thank you, my brother. He said, I understand what women go through. I had to change careers myself. He had to change careers himself. He said, stay strong, bro. Because he said he had a 5-year-old. A 5-month-old baby. He said now he was a single father to a 5-month-old. She's 24 now.
I
Um,
can't wait for 24. I have so many years before I hit 24.
You had Cyber Diva. Thank you for coming. And the Tea Lounge. Thank you. Serene Sunlight Sprite. Again, I thank you, sis, for the super chat. Hey, GP. How are you today, sir? How are you today? And I appreciate you guys. So my thing is, anybody else have any questions in here reference to this is my nephew again, Donnell, and he is a foster parent. Okay, Yolanda above me. Oh, okay. That's her. So he is a foster parent. He's a foster parent to 3 under 3. He has a 3-year-old and a set of twin 3-month-olds. Hey, my question to you is: the baby still got a bassinet? They because you said they 4 pounds, right? Or how
No,
big
they're
are they?
bigger now. I actually just went to the doctor today. One is 11 now, and the other one's 10 and a half.
Good gracious!
So we're slowly getting up to weight. Slowly, slowly.
I am so glad. I am so glad. It sounds like your grandpa riding up. It sounds like your grandpa is riding up. Indeed, Allah is all in all. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go, Professor.
But you said, do I have a bassinet? No, they ain't never been in no bassinets.
That was a bassinet that you sent me a picture of them in. They were in a bassinet
Oh, I
together.
don't. We don't use it as a bassinet. We use it as a changing table.
Thank you. Thank you so much, MJ. Thank you.
Okay. No. Okay. Yes, that was a bassinet, but we don't really
That was
use
a
that thing.
bassinet. But I am happy that we have a young black male that is out there that's helping those kids. Because guess what? Everybody not out there helping the kids. You still doing your youth ministry?
No, I had to let that go.
Well, I guess you did with all of your babies you got in your house.
I said, all right, this is the youth ministry now. I have no time on my hands to full finish full time that. No, there was no way. Yeah.
Uh, I'm gonna call you because I'm gonna have to text you because I need to find out if you called your other grandma.
Nope.
because that's where your daddy at. I need you to go check on your daddy while he up there.
Oh gosh.
But no, I thank you so much for coming and giving your time today. I told you we weren't gonna be no more than an hour because I know you got a lot to do because you're more busy than I am.
It was my pleasure. It was my pleasure. Always excited to talk about the program. We always need more help in all the states, everywhere, everywhere.
Okay. And I appreciate you. I really do. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you being a young man giving of your time and of yourself. Because guess what? It's not a lot of young men that's doing it, I don't think. Or at least from what I see. I see people wanting to take care of themselves, their children, but to actually put yourself out there and take care of somebody else's. I appreciate that. I really and truly do. And you know how I feel about babies. Don't you wish I was living up there?
Yeah, yep. I definitely wish you should bring grandma back up here too. So yeah, yeah.
Thank you, GP. I appreciate the. Thank you so much for the super chat, GP. I appreciate that. So, you guys, we have a whole lot of content creators in the chat. They've been dropping their channels. GP, go ahead and drop your channel in here. Uh, Thank you so much, GP, for taking care of that. And Lisa, Forever Lisa says, shout out to Donnell.
Oh, thank you.
Shout out to you. GP, go ahead and drop your channel in here so that because we want to go ahead and I'm supporting those who support me. All my sisters from the green sector, I think you guys have dropped your chats in here. Uh Yolanda has dropped you guys channels in here. Now you guys on Friday, and I'll be putting out the the whatever the reminder. I will be doing an interview with a former Army officer, and we're going to be talking about, and that's going to be on my Veterans Lounge. You know, I got a Veterans Lounge. Oh, you guys, my nephew is a veteran too.
Go Army.
Thank you. Thank you for your service, nephew. Yes, go Army. Why did you join the Army, nephew?
Well, I think since my uncles and aunts are all they're all in the army. I don't know if there was other options.
So y'all heard what he said? His uncles and aunts. Yes, we all there. So he had no other option. Yes, yes, yes. Y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all. My nephew told me one time. I don't know if you remember telling me this. I went in the Army and I started going to school to teach because of you. You told me that one time. I think you was just trying to boost up my ego because I was feeling poorly. I think you was trying to make me feel better. Yes, I'm telling you, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all. Drop your link, Gold Professor. Somebody drop Gold Professor's link because what we want to do is I want to make sure that I want to make sure that. Okay, thank you, Yolanda. Thank you for dropping his link because I want y'all to show Gold Professor some love too. Show Gold Professor some love too, y'all. I mod on his channel in the morning. He's there every morning. So I appreciate you guys. Lisa, Forever Lisa, the service was the service. It was what it was. Did you have fun, nephew?
Did I? Yeah.
Y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all. Okay, so I got it. Okay, so this is the end of the interview, but I gotta brag on my nephew a little bit. Y'all, he is an accomplished chef. This man know he can cook some cakes, make some pretty cakes. He sets up the best catering um situations because he also does event planning. So he sets up the best events. At the last ninth hour, at the 11th hour, he had to come in and set up my wedding. My second wedding to my second husband that nobody wanted me to marry.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Y'all, we was having a birthday party that weekend. I decided to get married. He came in and catered. He was like, "What was you thinking about?" But no, seriously. See, we can laugh about that now. I was looking at the pictures from that the other day and I was laughing. But no, Donnell is great with that. And Go Professor, he is Army strong. He is Army strong. I mean, he does a lot of things. And y'all, this is an awesome young man, and I thank you. You got any last words?
Yeah.
You ain't got no last words, nephew?
No, no last words.
All right. Well, I got some last words. As my mama always says, live, love, and laugh. And as my daddy always said, Lord, make us a blessing so we can be a blessing. And I truly hope that something was said here today or done that bless someone out there in the live. And you guys, if you're not a foster parent, consider being one. If you can't be one, consider supporting someone that is one. Um, consider being there for a child to help them. And I thank you again. You're welcome, Miss Lisa. You are welcome for look. I only had to come and get him in a headlock to share him with you guys. But no, he's a great young man. And I appreciate each and every one of you for coming over and being with us today. And look forward to my interview with the Army officer. We're gonna be Army strong on Friday, y'all. Army strong.
Army strong.
All right. And I thank you all. You guys have a blessed day.
Bye, everyone.
All right.